Hello, beautiful souls. I am Awakened Soul, and today we're going to be reviewing Bitcoin and setting our next trade. We're going to start off on our monthly time frame, and from our monthly, we're going to go all the way to the 1 hour. So, monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hours, and 1 hour, and it's pretty simple. I'm going to turn on my 12 and 26 EMAs, as those are the ones that I use. I'm going to connect one touch, two touch for our monthly trend line. Turn on the magnet here. Perfect. So my monthly trend lines are red. I want you to get used to my color coordination going on here. And one touch, two touches for my resistance and support. So to get my monthly target, I'm going to turn on my pivot highs and lows. Great indicator to use. Pivot highs and lows gives you exact price action of your highs and low. I'm going to place a vertical line right where the high is, and so my target is going to be based on this intersection, right where the trend line crosses and this vertical line crosses. So my bearish monthly target is 12,019. So can Bitcoin come down to 12,000? Absolutely. And my bullish target, let's see if I could get one. So the lower the number is, the more pivot highs and lows we get. Perfect. So let me just zoom in here. So based on this trend line crossing to the upside, right? So this is my lowest price action at 15,473. I'm going to place a vertical line right here. And my bullish target would be at 27K, 27,302. So that is going to be my bullish target. Let me remove this vertical lines, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. So there you go. There's your monthly targets. Let's go down to our weekly. Within the weekly, I want to set my range, focusing on our price action, right? So how do you set your range? Just, again, turn on pivot highs and lows. Just look at it, and then you have your resistance. And weeklies are orange, and you have your support. So just we're targeting price action. We're targeting where could price action go. So also it's good as an observation to have your 12 and 26 EMAs. So right now you can see that 1226 EMAs have officially crossed to the upside on the weekly, making it a bullish trend for me. On the monthly, we are bearish, right? But weekly, we are bullish. Why? Because price action is above 12 and 26. Okay, so now that I have my range, I'm going to turn on my higher high, lower low indicator that I love. Great indicator. Let me go to 3 here. I like to play around with it from 3, 6, or 9, right? Keeping it within the universe numbers here. Just visualizing it, I'm going to draw some trend lines. So I'm going to place from this low to this lower low, orange. From this lower high to the most current lower high, and even if we went to this high, look at that, it looks like a falling wedge. I'm always looking for patterns. So if we go here, it looks like a channel, right? Like we're playing within a channel here. Interesting. So we could be in a channel, or we could be in a falling wedge within the weekly time frame. Okay, let's just go with the channel for now. So if this, let's say it's a channel, right? So let's say price action will cross 25K to the upside. My target would be based on this low again, one touch, two touches. We're going to set a vertical line right where the low is. and my weekly target would be right under the monthly target at 27,400. So let's go ahead and change that. Okay, beautiful. Just curious now, like this is a falling wedge, isn't it? I really think it is a falling wedge here. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So I'm gonna go with my gut feeling of a falling wedge. So my weekly target's gonna be 29K if we break to the upside. I like it. I like it. Always go with your gut feeling, guys, especially with trading. We have a strong intuition. Use it. Okay, so now that I have my weekly targets here, let's move into our daily. Within our daily, we're gonna set some trend lines, right? We have our resistance done based on our weekly time frames. So let's go ahead and just bring our support here from this low to this higher low. And our daily targets are yellow. And we're gonna go from this low to the most current low of yesterday. So if we were to cross the support and this trend line, this is our highest peak. We're going to place that vertical line here. And remember to make that observation with the 12 and the 26 EMA too. And this is my daily target, bearish daily target. Again, for me to get a bullish target, it has to cross this weekly trend line. Okay, I like it. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So I'm just visualizing it just based on this weekly time frame right now and looking at the potential of a head and shoulders. I want you to see it right here. This could be a possibility of playing out. Let me take the magnet off. So let's say we have a little bit more downside movement, and then we could have one more push up to the top of this weekly trend line that is resistance now, and then come down. The market makers do like to work in threes, so it's just an observation I just made right now. So let's go to my 4 hours. Within the 4 hours, I'm gonna make some trend lines. And off the bat here, we have this high to this lower high, and 4 hours are green. So this looks like a falling wedge too. So that's what I think. I really think this is going to be the play, the next play, with that falling wedge, right? Because falling wedge is a break to the upside, giving us that right shoulder and then come down. Interesting, interesting. I like what I see. And again, that's how I trade. That's how I visualize my charts, just intuitively, just seeing what they're giving me right now. So my next target, just based on this, would be my weekly support. Prior to this, we had this bear flag playing off, right? So let's go on the 1 hour so you can see 4 hours here. What did that trend line? Okay, so how would you do your measure move? So this was the support, then it broke here, right? Oops, not the fib. Making this the support here. So this was a little bear flag that's playing out right now in my eyes, right? So let's get that measure move going from the break to the bottom. Turn off the magnet. Okay. Could it be? Could it be? That's I'm thinking. What do you guys think? Right? It looks about right because it broke down. See? Not exact, but pretty accurate to this support of 21,300. That's what I think it's playing. Let me turn on my EMAs. EMAs. 1226. So we're definitely in a downtrend. I think the bear flag is playing out right now, and we're gonna have that bounce around 21,300. I also have a 4-hour target right here based on this 1 touch, 2 touches here. So 1 touch, 2 touches. So let me turn on the magnet. Okay, so right in between, the highest peak right in between, that would be my target, correct? So if we put a target here, we're talking about 21,400, right? Because this trend line is good. I mean, don't get me wrong, but trend lines do break. It's good to know your patterns as the consolidation, but definitely looks like a falling wedge playing off to this 21.4 right now. Right, we had a consolidation. It chose a side to come down, probably another consolidation just like this area right here. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm viewing a continuation to the downside, a consolidation, and then give us that right shoulder and then break it to the downside. So that's what I'm seeing. So let's set up for our next trade. Sorry, I get caught up on like, oh my god, this is what I see. This is what I think it's gonna happen. Okay, so really quick, so now that we're here, like let's say you just walked in and you're like, okay, let's set up for a trade. Let's open our RSI. When I take trades, I want the RSI to be on my side, especially if you're day trading. Where is it? Right, even though we're in a downtrend, if you look on the daily, there's still a lot of room to move to the downside. You look at the 4 hours, I mean, yeah, we're oversold, but I mean, look at this, right? We could come down to 24 and we're at 33. So there's still some room to come down. 1 hour, we're looking good. It looked like it did a retrace here and back to the downside. So when I look for a trade, if I'm in the downside, so my trend will be the 1 hour. Okay, 4 hours, price action is below 1226. That means we're bearish. We're looking for shorts, right? In the 1 hour, we're bearish. I'm going to turn on my pivot highs and lows here. And I'm going to do some trend lines just as the support, as resistance. So right here, this higher low would have been a perfect entry, right? But we missed that one. So set a range off the bat when you come in. On the 1 hour is fine, from low to high. Move into your 30 minutes. That's how you want to play it, okay? So let's say it moves to the upside, it's fine. Set your alarms. This is a fishing game. Set your alarms. If the charts are not ready for you, don't go in, right? You could go into the 15 minutes trying to find a more consistent range here. Just like this consolidation area, this was a nice range. It looks like this was in the fib. This was a nice range here, and it broke to the downside. So now we're in a trend down. So you could definitely, I mean, trying to see. Right, let the trend play out. Let the trend, let us see how low does the low come down, and then wait for a pullback. Like I mentioned, have this trend line here. Most likely it's gonna play out, like come down, do a little push up, and then continue to the downside, right? So you want to enter, like I said, at lower highs for a downside movement, placing stop losses at previous lower highs. All right, guys, that's what I have for you. May the force be with you. And I do see targets at 21,400, like I said, and that would be the neckline of the Head and Shoulders. Pretty excited about it because it's also confluence with this falling wedge that we have, and then headed back up to this resistance here at the weekly time frame, and then continue to the downside. All right, may the force be with you guys, and remember to follow me on Twitter as I'm always updating my charts. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Let me see. Where am I? There you go. AwakenSoul _369. Okay, much love, and may the force be with you.